Hello, besties. Um, how you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Martini with Eddie. This is your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we dissect the drama, uncork the juiciest gossip of your favorite reality TV shows. And when I say gossip, I got a hot tea tonight, you guys. I have a good one that I just wait for it. You're gonna love it, especially because Jersey is in one of those seasons where everybody it's going after everybody. But this particular tea that I have for you guys are going to love it. I just found out yesterday, and it's so hard not to talk about it because I mean, you know that we're gonna talk about the gossip that is out there. So I'm gonna share with you guys in a minute. But first of all, let me remind you that tonight we're gonna be talking about Summer House and the latest episode of Real Housewife of New Jersey. The Irish land was not ready for the Italian invasion, and I'm loving every single second of this girl's trip. But before we jump into the Jersey overall, I wanna talk Summer House. It's gonna be super quick. It's gonna take just a few minutes because the latest episode of Summer House it was basically Kyle's 40th birthday. And all I want to say, it was great to see so many familiar faces. Rachel from Winter House, Jason from Winter House. We saw Luke back into the picture. The party was by far one of the best parties I have seen on Summer House. And the fact that Kyle is 40 and he still party like he's in his 20s, I give him credit. I said it before. I'm turning 40 this year. So to me, somebody who loves to have a good time when the time is right. I don't go out as much as I used to when I was in my 20s. Obviously, I don't have the energy for it. But if I'm going to throw a party, it's going to be iconic, it's going to be epic. And that's why I love Kyle because he is unapologetically just crazy and wild when the time is right. He owns a business, Loverboy. He worked really hard. So when he goes to the Hamptons, he has a good time. And this party was out of this world to the point that he gave a speech in his birthday suit. I'm gonna have to do that, you guys. I need to maybe stream my birthday party and do what he did. Come here and do my speech, just wearing a little tiny, like, I don't know, like a sock covering down there, like he did. It's really funny. I hope you guys watch Summer House. Um, this season is different than the previous one because we see the change in the dynamic between Lindsay and Danielle, which is major. As you guys know, if you watch the show, you know that they were besties, they were close. And this season, that dynamic changed. And the reason is because Lindsay got in a relationship with Carl, and Danielle has felt that it's overshadowing their friendship, and that's fair. I see both sides. The main issue that I have with Lindsay and Carl is that even though they know each other for a very long time, I do feel like they are rushing into everything. But hey, what is saying? I don't know. I feel like Teresa right now. I'm trying to remember. It's a different stroke for different people, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I hope that Danielle and Lindsay find their way back to their friendship. They are filming the reunion very soon. As you guys know, Andy and Bravo posted that they were, getting ready for the reunion. They were asking questions. I obviously sent two questions. I don't know if they're gonna ask them, but my questions are mainly asking Kyle if he thinks that Lindsay is part of the reason why Carl left Loverboy, and also I asked a question for Carl saying that I ask, hopefully they ask that because I really want to know if he think is will be the best for him to step away from the show for even maybe 1 or 2 seasons just to focus on his sobriety journey because he seemed like he needs to find that middle ground where he's comfortable around alcohol and he can also be himself. Um, I can only imagine how uncomfortable might be seeing your friends getting wasted and you're not gonna do that because you are on your own journey, um, and maybe taking one step back and taking a moment to breathe and I don't know and look inside and see if the show is worth doing if he wants to stay sober. It must be really hard. So yeah, those are the questions that I sent in. Hopefully they ask one of them. I would love them to ask that question specifically to Carl because I'm still confused as why he's still on the show when the show is mainly, or the premises of the show is going to the Hamptons and do what people do in the summer, which is drink and just be wild. And Lindsay and Carl are not in that mentality anymore. And it's okay. It's okay. I really hope the Bravo start shifting gears with Summer House and give some of these OG cast members their own show. Kind of like their lives in the city. Like I want to see what Paige does in a daily basis. I want to see what Lindsay and Carl do. I want to see Kyle and Amanda working at Loverboy and doing all the stuff that we don't get to see on Summer House because, like I said before, Summer House not focused on their lives in the city. It's focused on them going to the Hamptons and have a good time. So that is my little recap opinions about the latest episode. By far, one of my favorite ones this season. There's not much to dissect when it comes to Summer House. Summer House is going to be that the whole entire time. Oh, hold on. Before we go, and before we jump into Jersey, uh, Paige and Craig from Southern Charm. You guys know that they've been dating, and it feels like Craig want her to move to Charleston, and it doesn't seem like it's something that she really wants. So I wonder if that's going to be the downfall of their relationship. Do I think they make a good couple? They look really cute together. They seem to have a good dynamic. They seem to have fun together. But long distance relationship work for a period of time. But when you want to take that next step, which is living together and engagement and wedding and kids and all this stuff that is the future of a couple, I don't see how that's gonna work. I don't see how this dynamic is going to work. I don't know. It will be interesting though. I will be really interested on seeing how Paige does in Southern Charm as a cast member. She's been in Charleston and part of the show as a guest because she's dating Craig. But I want to see how she does as a full time cast member that is around the drama 24/7. And I want to see if that helps her to stay there or if that breaks their dynamic because we've seen that happening on Southern Charm many times when they start dating and the drama in within the group just destroys the relationship. So I want to see that. So I will take Paige and move her down to Charleston just to be part of Southern Charm. That's just my opinion. Let's talk about New Jersey. I know, I know. I promised to talk about the lawsuit that one of the housewives is facing, and this is a brand new lawsuit. It just got filed in February of this year, but it went public very recently. So before I jump into that one, I want to talk about the show. I want to talk about the latest episode. The latest episode is basically the ladies getting ready to go to Ireland and partying with Teresa for her bachelorette party. She's getting ready for her wedding. Based on what she said on the show, it happens 2 weeks from that trip. You know, the episode start with a little pop-up show at MV where Danielle showcased her that bougie kids line. I actually like Danielle. A lot of people are not very into Danielle, and I'm surprised to see how many people are kind of complaining online saying that she doesn't bring anything to the table. When, in my opinion, she's one of the best newbies that we had gotten in a long time. Maybe I just appreciate her for who she is. You know, fun, loud. She has her opinions. She doesn't stand for bullshit. Yeah, she has had moments where she stepped back. Yeah, I understand that. Some people say like, "Oh, she walks away from drama," but is she walking away or saving the moment for the right time? I mean, you don't have to always jump and explode when you are angry or when it's happening in the moment. I just feel like Danielle is waiting for the right moment to kind of like go hard. I mean, we started seeing it in the latest episode when they were talking at the table. She went hard on everybody on that table. She's starting to understand dynamics too, because let's not forget a lot of these people on this cast have been working together for a very long time, so they already have their dynamic. They already know what's happening. Danielle, based on what I'm watching on this show, came on came on Housewife of New Jersey with the idea of being friend with everybody, and she was trying to build a connection with Rachel. But it seems to me like Rachel took a side quicker than Danielle did. And at that moment, Danielle, changed gears and start, finding a friendship, like a true friendship with Teresa and Jennifer Aiden. You know, um, I'm gonna read this. This is come from Mike Mitchell. Um, the message said Danielle is good TV. She's been waiting her whole life for this. She's ready, but she can't run away every episode when confronted. Yes, I agree. I do agree that Danielle is great TV. I agree that she's been on reality TV before and she loved that. And to be honest, who doesn't love that? I mean, well, not everybody's for reality TV. Not everybody wants to be a reality TV star, but if you have the opportunity and you are made for TV, run with it. That's my advice. Also, yes, like I said before, she has been running away a couple of times, but at the same times, I feel like we should normalize that too in the housewife universe, because that happens in real life as well. When when we are too heated, when our when we know that we are a ticking bomb, sometimes it's good to step back and take a moment before you make an ass of yourself. You know, um, I do believe that we will be surprised by the confrontation that are coming because soon enough she's going to be confronted by pretty much, the other side of the couch when the whole rumor of Melissa hooking up in the back of a limousine or whatever, the March told Laura and Laura told Jen and Teresa. She's gonna be confronted because she asked questions and she found out. Uh, that's the one that I really want people to pay attention because it's going to be Danielle versus Margaret, and that's going to be intense. We will talk about it when it airs. Um, another situation that I laughed really hard, and this coming from somebody who is from Jersey. I know some people out there make comments about my accent. Oh, you weren't born in Jersey. I grew up in Jersey. I moved to Jersey when I was 13. I'm 39 right now. So um, that's 26 years of my life, right? So yes, when I say I'm from Jersey, I'm from Jersey. So take it for what it is. So I love how um, when Danielle called Rachel a rat, and they show Melissa saying, you know what? Where I'm from, if you call somebody a rat, that's the lowest of the low, and that is very true. That's why when I talk about Rena, I call her a rat. I don't call her lips or anything. I don't like to make fun of people's appearance. That's not my style. But because she's a rat landlord, she had the rats in her kitchen. I always call her that too. So now you guys know exactly what I mean, because that's what it means when you're from Jersey. You're a rat, you're the lowest of the low. Um, Really quick, there was a scene between Jennifer and Bill, and a lot of people are confused about Bill's reactions, about going to therapy and stuff like that. But let's make it clear here. If you watch their interactions, if you watch the way they talk to each other, yes, marriages have issues, relationship have issues, and especially when you have been with the same person for such a long time, like they have been, you're gonna have ups and downs, and that's part of reality TV. But we need to analyze body language and how they look at each other, the way that they talk to each other, um, I posted on my Twitter, and I think surprisingly some people are actually agree with me. I believe that their chemistry is great. I believe that as a couple they make sense. Bill is not the type of guy who wants to talk about therapy on TV, and that is okay. A lot of guys, I'm talking about straight guys, don't like to talk about therapy because they feel like that's a sign of weakness. You know, also Bill is, he's, based on what I see on TV, he seems that he grew up in that culture of thinking, I'm a guy and this is what guys do. If I go to therapy, it's not okay. Something is wrong with me or whatever. I grew up in that culture too. I My family is Spaniard, and we never talked about mental health or going to therapy and stuff like that because they think you're crazy. That's what it means to some people. If you go to a therapist, if you go to a psychologist, you're crazy. But in reality, it should be okay to talk about it because that will help people into finding a outsider to listen to your problems, to listen to you and help you connect the dots, because that's what therapy does. I went to therapy because I suffer from severe anxiety, all right? I don't take medication and I have nothing against it. If you're taking medication for your anxiety, good for you. But I found different ways to deal with it. And one of those ways was finally saying, you know what, I need help. I need somebody to help me understand why I have these panic attacks, and what are the triggers, And that's what a therapist does. I went and I sat down. I We talked about my whole entire life, and he opened up stuff that I did not even know that I was trying to hide or forget. Family issues. Issue with my dad, issue with my mom from like 30 years ago, and that helped me. So but if somebody asked me before, a couple of years ago, 10, 15 years ago, do you want to go to therapy? I was like, no, because there's nothing wrong with me. Only crazy people go to a therapist. That's what I was thinking. And like Elle said here, yes, Bill is Middle Eastern. It's similar to Spaniards. We have that mentality where being a man is, it means not having problems. It means uh, you know, not acknowledging the problem. But I I I I said it. Bill and Jen make sense. Bill and Jen seems to love each other. There was a scene. I actually took a photo of it. I posted on my Twitter the way the Bill was looking at Jen when Jen was talking. There was a sense of love, even though they were having a little argument. They were still happy to be in the same room. There was not. It's like if you watch how Lenny from Miami talked to Lisa when they were in the same room arguing, there's a different vibe. There was a whole different dynamic. You can tell that he just wanted to walk away. He always made faces. His body language was weird. There was a sense of disconnect. And the only one who was pushing for this like perfect marriage was Lisa, making him say that, oh, everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine. And he would just say like, yeah, everything is fine. But his face was saying something else. That was not the case of the Aiden. And a lot of people tend to go after Jen because it's easy for some people to just see how Jen is a strong person with a strong opinions, and some people don't like that about a woman in particular. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them. I truly appreciate the Aidens. I love the dynamics, and I like when people in reality TV are open enough about their own issues in their household, because we have many housewives out there, even in this show, that we have no idea about their personal life and struggles because they like to create drama in somebody else's life. Yes, I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. Even in Jersey, we had that housewife who has been on the show for many seasons, and we still don't know anything about their personal life or why some family members don't talk to them. You know, they are too focused on destroying other people's relationships. Moving on. During the flight to during the trip to Ireland, the first thing that we kind of like get a taste of is Jen Fessler sex life. Um, she said out of the blue, there's no way to there's no way to confirm this information because Gandolfini is not alive, but she said that she slept with um, Tony Soprano. uh, yeah, I was shocked. I was completely shocked about the information that was given. I was not expecting it. I was like, did she just say that she had sex with James Gandolfini like so casually? And then she said that they went to an S&M bar and he was inside her many times. And those are facts. And I mean, good for you. I mean, whatever. But it was funny because it was random. I was not expecting the story. I was not expecting that moment. And I think no one in that bus expected the fact that uh, Jen Fessler was, one of the many, I don't know, James Gandolfini's many sex expect. I don't know. I have no idea. It was just hysterical. I mean, we can confirm. We cannot call James Gandolfini because we all know um, that James Gandolfini is not with us anymore. Um, but yes, we know the Jen Fessler said that they had sex many times. So good for them. Excellent. When they get to the house, we get to see different rooms. It's a beautiful castle. I love Ireland. I love how everything reminds me of like really old school European towns. You know, that is in Europe. I know that part. What I'm saying is it still has that old charm. You know, you see the castles, the greenery, and people are super nice. Many people that I grew up with are Irish, or the parents were Irish, Irish descendants. So it's like they're always happy, they're always drinking, and they know how to drink, they know how to party. Um, One thing that I was kind of embarrassed at the moment was when some of the ladies were criticizing the the castle in front of the people who own the castle or work at the castle and were hosting it. And like that was kind of like, I mean, a little rude, not like in a bad way, but I will feel so low key offended if I bring people to my house and they start saying, "Oh my gosh, this is haunted. This is haunted. Oh my gosh." I'm like, let's chill. Let's chill. It's a castle. It's gonna be fun. And I love that Jennifer got the best room out of everybody. Beside Dolores and Teresa, they got the main rooms. But beside them, they has to pick rooms from like a lottery kind of thing. They pick names out of like a bag or something. I don't know. And Jennifer got the best room, and she said, "Suck it." It is true. I mean, they were all trying to get the best room. She got it. She's happy, and I'm happy for her. Those rooms were beautiful, though. The decoration is very country, like it reminds me of like French country. I know it's not because it's in Ireland, but if you see those houses in the south, if you have an idea, those houses in the south that still have the old colonial decoration, like in Charleston. When you see those old houses in Southern Charm, or on like the house in Louisiana and stuff like that, that they keep those like really old school like wallpapers and decoration. That's what kind of what it remind me of. Um, I had the opportunity to stay in a house like that many years ago. We were doing a road trip down to Mississippi, and it was incredible. It felt like we were back in time. So that's how I feel like they took the strip. Like a lot of the ladies were making that comment. Like they felt like, oh my gosh, this is like nothing like we've been before. The funniest comment of the night, though, when it comes down to the trip, I think it was Danielle who said like, when I was a for my bachelorette, we just went to like a little motel room and got dressed up and got drunk and be messy. I upgraded because now she's in a castle. The night, obviously, I knew that something was gonna happen. Nothing was gonna be just like hunky dory. There were two moments of the night that I want to highlight. One is when Jennifer mentioned Laura to Margaret. There is something about Laura that makes Margaret very uncomfortable. Way too uncomfortable for my liking. Which I don't know if you guys know, I had the opportunity to interview Laura on my podcast. The episode is you can find my episode on YouTube or any podcast platform. So if you haven't heard that interview, you should, because it will give you a more understanding of why Margaret is so afraid of what Laura has to say. I personally believe Laura, not just because she was on my podcast. I want to make that clear. She has nothing to lose. Nothing. And when you got nothing to lose, you're not afraid to say what it needs to be said. On the other hand, you have Margaret, who pretty much has a lot to lose because she's the one on a show. She's the one who has all this gossip or arsenal or rumors in her little pocket of bones, because she likes to collect bones just to make sure that she can use them in the future. Um, that's why she feels like whatever Laura has to say might, you know, kind of remove the mask and show who she really is. That's how I feel like it's happening here, just by the reaction that she has every time the Laura is brought up on the show, specifically on the conversation at the table when Jennifer said that she didn't want to talk about what Laura said, and she looked at Melissa. I'm 100% sure the Margaret knew exactly what she meant. You know, as Jennifer said, she has mentioned other stuff the Laura had said because they're petty and whatever. But there's this particular bomb that she did not want it to share with the whole entire group, you know, and that to me it was important because the rumor was gonna end on TV somehow. It was gonna be brought up at one point. But Jennifer had that information and she could have easily used it right in front of her, in front of Margaret and everybody, and she decided not to because she promised Laura that she was not gonna say that to anyone. Then we have a different scene with Margaret with Danielle. That's when we found out what the rumor is truly about, and it's the fact that Melissa was making out with somebody else in the back of a car, and somebody saw her and told Margaret, and Margaret told Laura about it. Do I believe the gossip? I'm not gonna give my opinion on that, just because, to be fair, I don't care. That's just my opinion. But but there's many moments that I do feel like Margaret has pushed Melissa to look somewhere else. Like when she said that Melissa could, get a baseball player or something like that. And people say, "Oh, yeah, she's just being a friend. She just being funny with her friend and be." And people said that like, no, 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 no. When you say, when you tell your friend go find somebody else, it's because you don't like the person that they're with. You don't think that they make sense. You know, you're pushing them to quote unquote cheat or find somebody new. This is not just like a ha ha funny moment, ha. We just being friend and cheeky. No, she was pushing that narrative that Melissa, just like J Lo, can get a baseball player. And so if you put one and one, it seems to me like maybe Margaret was really covering for Melissa and she went in and said that to the wrong person. And now she's afraid that that's going to come out. Like I said before, do I know if this is a fact? No. Do I care? Nah. Don't care. Because I don't care for enough for Melissa to go and look for what she's doing in her life. Do not care. But do I raise an eyebrow to the situation? Yes. That's all I'm gonna say. And now we're talking. Now the ladies are out for the night for Teresa's bachelorette, which by the way she looks so pretty. And I love how she said Channing Tatum. She said Channing Tatum, and I just laughed so hard because only Teresa. I love Teresa though. Teresa, it's she has her own language when it comes to saying stuff, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that she can also laugh at herself. You know, when she makes a mistake, she laugh at it, and I appreciate that because I'm the same way too. I'm the kind of person who tries to say like a quote or like a meme or or a saying, and I always mess it up. Always do, always do. I was trying to say something earlier, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't because I'm gonna mess it up. So yeah, I appreciate about Teresa. At the table though, when they were having a conversation, Jen Fessler once again brought up the whole not inviting Melissa's mom, which I'm so tired of it. I'm tired. Like, what part of this is Melissa's? I mean, this is Teresa's day. They're not getting. If she decided to not invite Melissa's mom to the wedding, that is her prerogative. And yes, it looks kind of shitty that you're ignoring your family's mom, whatever. But at this point, we had talked about this so many times, and she obviously doesn't want to create more drama. And if she's like, okay, if she wants to come, just let her come. If she wants to bring the dog, the horse, the I don't know, the whatever, the cat, just let them bring the whole entire farm if they want to. Like, come on. Like, she already said, whatever. She forgot. She didn't forget. She ignored them. Melissa on Watch What Happened Live said that, oh, Teresa's holding on to what happened 10 years ago. Let's rewind something here. The tweets and retweets and likes and comments were not made 10 years ago, because you can easily go on Twitter and find out when she started liking stuff. And she liked stuff about Teresa's daughter that were not nice. That's one thing. When Teresa, said that she feels in some kind of way about her liking tweets that happened 10 years ago and 5 months ago, that's enough of a reason. Because she might not be saying this type of stuff. Maybe Melissa's mom is not saying any of those stuff, but she is liking those, which is approving the message, which is highlighting the messenger. You know? So why would Teresa want that energy around? I just don't get it. What people are not getting is like, this is Teresa's wedding, period. Point blank. There's no other way to explain it. If she didn't want Melissa's mom at the wedding, period. And the fact that Joe Gorg is making all this theatrical situation and being mad and stomping at the stage of BravoCon last year and doing the most is quite embarrassing. Because his job as a brother, his true job as a brother is to be happy for his sister, be at the wedding, and go home, and then you can do the whole thing. But at least you were there for her. At least you can say, I did my part to be a part of this family. But you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even put a freaking rented tuxedo from the kid section, because I don't think anything else can fit that little gnome, and go to the wedding. That's what I get really upset with the fans on the Gorga side. Because yes, we can say Teresa has done this, the Gorga had done this, and they both in the wrong and all this stuff. But there is one point here that needs to be clear, is that the one that was making the most was Joe Gorga. I even believe that Melissa wasn't even that bothered by the fact that Teresa didn't make her a bridesmaid. But the one who was bothered was Joe Gorga. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Joe Gorga likes to be the center meatball. If he could be a housewife and be in the center of the intro holding a meatball, because he's from Jersey, we hold meatballs. He will be happily be the center meatball. That's the problem here. So because Melissa is not highlighted at the wedding, Melissa's not getting the camera time that he wanted her to have, he got upset. That's the only thing that I can get out of all the situation. Because then he went ahead and on the same day as Teresa getting married, he was acting a fool on Instagram. So that's all I'm gonna say right now because I wanna leave some of my thoughts for the future when we actually get to the wedding episode. There is a lawsuit that just dropped. And I know we were all been waiting for that. I posted it on Twitter yesterday. As soon as I found out, as soon as I saw the name, I was like, I need to share this with the world. And my tweet said, I'm gonna read the tweet because I want to make sure that people know why I worded that way. The reason why I said this, let me read it. I want to read it verbatim so we are 100% on the same page. I said, so there's a housewife of my home state, New Jersey, who is being sued by her accountant for unpaid fees for about 3 years. Reason for not paying him, they have no money. Maybe I'll drop the name of my podcast recap tomorrow night. That was last night or yesterday. I didn't mention the housewife or I didn't show the lawsuit filing because as a Bravo content creator has to be aware of the consequences of sharing legal papers even though they are public papers and legal papers. These papers contain information that are very personal like address, phone number, email, and such and such and such. I'm not going to give you the docket number because I don't want people to go and start looking for that and trying to, harass the housewife. Even though I'm not a fan, I'm not here for harassment. I'm not here for violating people's personal space or sharing people's personal information. So, with that said, now we are going to proceed and talk about it. Um, I want to share this comment. Hi, this is from Suga. Is on. Hi, how are you? I say, hey Eddie, love your commentary. Thank you. I love Teresa too, and definitely the girls. She's been through so much, and this is her moment. But her jealous brother and his wife, George is a b-boy. Yep, I just wanted to say that before we move forward. Thank you for being here. I love everybody's sharing their opinions. I can see everybody's. I want to share this one. Mike just sent this message. I mentioned that Joe needed to rent his suit from the kids session, and he said not the kids section. He's shopping at Daniel's pop-up at Envy. Yes. Well, now back to the lawsuit. The person who's been sued by the accountant is Margaret Joseph. She didn't pay his accountant for over 3 years. I'm gonna read what the paper says. I don't want to give you the name of the accountant just because I don't think it matters. But I'm gonna call it Steve. Steve says, "I am a certified public accountant. I was retained by the defendant, aka Margaret Joseph, and Joseph Benigno. Joseph Benigno is also mentioned in the lawsuit as somebody who is, part of the situation. So the plaintiff is the accountant. The defendants are Margaret Joseph and Joseph Benigno. So he says, I am a certified public accountant. I was retained by the defendant to prepare financial statements and related to tax returns. About 3 years ago, they stopped paying me for work performed. Eventually, I stopped working for them. They say they have no money, but I believe this is untrue. The amount that the plaintiff is demanding is $15,000 plus legal fee of $5,000. This was filed on February 22nd, 2023 in my county, Bergen County. So that's one part. So as we see, how the hell Margaret Joseph and Joseph Benigno get away with not paying their own accountant for over 3 years? I don't get it. And the accountant said that the excuse for them not to pay him is that they don't have money. Last time I checked, or last time that I heard, Margaret talking is like how rich she is. So somebody's lying here, and I think Margaret's the one lying. The accountant said that he doesn't believe that they are broke, and they just trying to use that to retain his fees. Which, by the way, for somebody who calls themselves very rich and wealthy, $15,000 sounds like nothing to me. That's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of people said online that Margaret Joseph is the richest housewife of New Jersey. Also, very important to highlight here is the fact that Margaret needed to answer to this lawsuit on April 10th, which was 2 days ago. I'm gonna keep my eyes open to see if she replied to this lawsuit, because if she didn't reply by April 10th, she's gonna the court will definitely rule against her. And this is not the first time that she has been sued in the past 5 years. I decided to look into her records of, they public records. I'm not trying to get her phone number or anything. I don't care. To me, having contact with Margaret Joseph sounds really exhausting, to be honest. So I don't want anything to do with her. But since we're talking about a current lawsuit, I decided to check on previous ones, and it seems like for the past 5 years that she's been on the show, she has had a lawsuit every year, and it makes me question the how rich she truly is. Because how the hell you go year after year kind of like not paying people? The only explanation to me is that you don't have the money, or at least you don't have the moral compass to pay people for their job, which is even more embarrassing. That also remind me that she called podcasters and Bravo content creators low life or something like that on Up and Adam when she was interviewed recently, because we were giving Laura a space for her to tell her truth and share her story. Low low life people, or low level people, she called us. I don't know, to me seems like low level people are the one who don't pay those who work for them. That to me sounds more low level. So we should check our words before we say them. So that's the tea. That's the tea that I have for you guys. I know some people share the information online already. I know some people posted the actual paper, but I didn't want to, because one thing is that it's not going to be my fault. And I'm not going to get a paper in the mail saying stop talking about this because I posted somebody else's information on my accounts. But I'm sharing that with you guys right now here. I think I think somebody needs to bring this up at the reunion. That needs to happen, because Margaret has a very really ugly tactic when it comes down to go after other castmates, which is trying to find dirt on people and use it as ammunition. And I don't know, but to me, a lawsuit for not paying people that work for you is enough ammunition to make them feel like shit. It's like I hope somebody brings up the whole Joe Gorga lawsuit too. I'm just surprised that nobody seems to, you know, really talk about what is truly happening out there. Not just surface level gossip. I'm talking about real accusations and real legal troubles. This might not be as big as, you know, Jen Shaw or Erica James. This is not Erica James level. This is not Jen Shaw level. We're not talking about some heavy federal case here, but still is something that needs to be talked about on the show. And they are filming the reunion next week, so I'm praying that somebody got a hand of these papers and they bring them and be like, hey, you like to look for our stuff? Guess what? You should be looking in your house because you have a lot of stuff going on instead of focusing on what somebody else is doing in their own marriage. I'm excited for the reunion. Very excited. Because even though the drama on the show seems repetitive, meaning Teresa versus Melissa, outside the show, during filming and after filming, the drama between the cast member has been more interesting. And I'm talking about even BravoCon. I have mentioned this many times. Being there at BravoCon and seeing how Gorga acted the whole entire weekend, the way that he talked about Teresa, the way that he was stomping at the stage because somebody asked him a question, he acted like a buffoon. And then that same day, he was harassing Jennifer Aiden at the hotel. And people are trying to say, no, it was Jennifer's fault. No, no. We all seen the full video, not just the edited version that the Gorgas put out first. That they were not expecting that somebody else was recording too. I'm not here to ask Bravo to fire them. That's not what I want. That's not what I care for. I don't ask Bravo to fire cast member unless it's something like racially motivated, like the Jenny from Salt Lake City kind of thing, or even Ramona. Sometimes pisses me off because she's very ignorant in a lot of ways. But beside that, I don't go out and start asking Bravo to fire housewives because I want them to be put on like on heat on a barbecue and just turn it up and make them look like the asshole they are on TV. The only person that I'm happy that left was Lisa Rena because Lisa Rena and I have a history of not liking each other, and I have my reasoning why I don't like Lisa Rena. But Melissa Gorga and Joe Gorga, I don't care for them. Not really. Don't care. I don't find it interesting or entertaining or anything. But they had their fans, so that's okay. You know, we had different tastes, we had different opinions, and that's part of the reality TV conversation. It's all valid. But also, if you're going to be in a reality TV show, you best believe that you need to be put on a freaking barbecue, turn the light on, and put on the heat when you make some dumb decision or when you act a fool. And Joe Gorga acted a fool the whole entire weekend at BravoCon. And that's just one little part of this whole entire thing that happened after they were done filming, you know? So I'll be looking out for that reunion because I want to know everything that happened there. I'm gonna keep my eyes open. I'm gonna make sure that I bring you guys the gossip because we have a lot coming. And if you're liking this conversation, and if you like my opinions, if you don't like my opinions, all I ask for you guys is to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my podcast that you can find on every single podcast platform as Martinez with Eddie. Also, you can find Extra T on Twitter, which is my favorite social media. Also on Instagram, once again, Martinez with Eddie. I also have my own website, martinezwitheddie.com. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tea. I'll be keeping my eyes open for more. And like I always say, besties, thank you so much for being here tonight with me. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Vanderpump Rules and Ultimate Girls Trip. I'm gonna be bringing my opinion on Tom Sandoval's disastrous interview. That will be tomorrow. So tonight, make sure you watch Vanderpump Rules so we can chat it up together, besties. Okay, besties. Thank you so much and have a great night. And like I always say, bye, besties.